This week on Premier Preps, we brave the cold weather for some soccer. We've got Bella Vista and Del Campo girls and Roseville and Inderkum boys. And then things heat up inside the gym for some hoops. We've got Davis and McClatchy girls and Woodland Christian boys. Plus, we'll give you a full recap of the CIF State Championship football weekend. You are watching Premier Preps. Welcome to another episode of Premier Preps. I am your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and hanging out every Sunday right here on YouTube. We've got tons to get to this week, but first, the fall season officially wrapped up with state championship football this past weekend. So you know what that means. It's time to get yourselves sized up for those championship rings. And Premier Championship Rings is your go-to hub for all your custom bling that will tell the story of your team's journey to section, regional, and state championship glory. Visit premiergradproducts.com, which, by the way, is also your spot to order all your graduation necessities. Caps, gowns, tassels, class hoodies, you name it, they've got it. Click on the Championship Rings page and contact Bob Sebring to order your custom bling from Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. Folks, it's hard to believe, but after 17 weeks of the high school football season and it's officially over, the state championships were held in Southern California this weekend, and although Premier Preps wasn't able to make the trip down to SoCal, we still want to make sure to keep you posted on all the results, especially since we had 5 Sac-Joaquin Section teams competing for a state title. And a huge thank you goes out to our friends at the NFHS Network who allowed us to use some footage and bring you some highlights from our local teams competing for all the marbles this weekend. All right, we're going rapid fire here with 5 teams from the Sac-Joaquin section all competing this weekend for a state championship. We start on Friday. Grant and Pacifica in the Division II AA final. The Pacers get out to a 21-point halftime lead with a big pick 6 from Gary Tia, highlighting 28 unanswered points from the Pacers. But here come the Tritons. Elijah Royster had 4 touchdowns on the day. This one ties the game at 28 with just under 4 minutes to play. Pacifica comes all the way back, and we're going down to the wire. But that is where Luke Alexander and the Pacers thrive. Cool Hand Luke finds Kobe Shabazz in the end zone for an 18-yard go-ahead touchdown. They call him Cheese because he's all about the cheddar, and Grant has plenty to cheese about with their 3rd state championship victory. 4 local teams playing on Saturday, starting with 12 Bridges, the Raging Rhinos of Lincoln, taking on the Sea Kings of Palos Verdes. And man, this QB from Palos Verdes was on one on Saturday. Ryan Rakowski, a sophomore, corrals a low snap and finds his man in the end zone. That's Jalen Flowers, a freshman. Palos Verdes puts up 34 points before the Rhinos can get on the board. 12 Bridges finally able to come through in the 3rd. Connor Flaherty in danger, but his safety valve is Ryan Wanger, who hauls in the TD from his tush. But the clock has struck midnight on the Rhinos' Cinderella season. Just too much Palos Verdes. Ryan Rakowski ties a CIF State Bowl record with 6 touchdown passes as Palos Verdes wins 55-19 in the 2A final. But hats off to 12 Bridges on an amazing season. The D6A final between Summerville and Monte Vista of Spring Valley. The Bears are looking for their first state title, and they're up 17-7 in the first half. But the Monarchs are keeping it tight as Derek Taylor with a little trickery on the QB keeper to make it a 3-point game at the break. But Summerville assumes control in the second half. Quarterback Bryce Leveroux accounts for 4 touchdowns on the day. This one's a 49-yard scoring scoot. and it gives Summerville a 31-14 lead. They win 38-21 and bring the chip back home to Tuolumne County. The Sonora Wildcats looking for state title number 1, going up against St. Pius St. Matthias of Downey in the southern section. And folks, this one was all Sonora. The Wildcats are up 38-14 in the third when Eli Ingalls hooks up with Cash Byington for a 42-yard touchdown. The Wildcats win big, 52-34, and bring home the Division 4A title back to the 209. And finally, we go to the Division 3A championship between Vanden and Rio Hondo Prep of Arcadia. We pick it up just before halftime, Vanden down 8, but Kalani McLeod fools everybody and calls his own number, fighting for a 5-yard score, and we're all knotted up at 21. Rio Hondo's Noah Penanuri had a huge night. He puts the Caries up 35-28. With his 4th TD of the night, but the Vikes tie it up and Rio Hondo misses a field goal in the closing seconds, so we go to overtime. Vikes with the ball first in OT, Kalani McLeod, surgical, finding KJ Davis in the end zone. Vanden goes up 42-35, and it's the last chance for Rio Hondo. They give it to none other than Noah Penanuri for his 5th score of the night, and the Caries elect to go for 2 and the championship. It comes down to this. But the Viking defense says, "You shall not pass!" Junior Jackson and Caleb Jones in on the stop, and it sends Vanden to its 2nd state championship in the past 4 years. What a way to cap the 2024 season. Well, folks, hard to believe, but those were the final football games of the 2024 season, and what an incredible year it has been. Let's check out the rest of what happened in the race for the ring presented by Premier Championship Rings. In Division 1AA, the Lincoln Hornets of San Diego take down the Pittsburgh Pirates from the Bay Area to claim their 2nd CIF championship in the past 3 seasons. In D1A, the Edison Chargers of Huntington Beach defeat the Central Grizzlies from the Fresno area. That's the program's first ever CIF title. You just saw Grant go for state title number 3 after defeating Pacifica of the southern section. Congrats to Pacer Nation for holding it down for the 916. And in D2A, Palos Verdes spoiling the storybook ending for 12 Bridges. The Sea Kings win their first state crown. But hats off to the Raging Rhinos for an unbelievable ride. D3-2A featured 2 teams also in search for their first state title, and the Frontier Titans keep the trophy in SoCal after beating Amador Valley. The Vanden Vikings got hot at the right time of the year and bring home state championship number 2. It's their 2nd title in a 4-year span. St. Vincent de Paul of Petaluma goes back-to-back. They won it all at the D6 AA level last year. They level up to D4 AA and bring home another chip. The Sonora Wildcats bring home a state title to the 209. What an amazing run it's been for head coach Kurt Clifton and the Wildcat family, which has suffered tragic loss after tragic loss. Congratulations to the Wildcats. The Carmel Padres of the Central Coast section take down El Capitan of Lakeside to win the Division 5 AA title. In D5A, the American Canyon Wolves bring home state title number 1 in their first championship appearance, beating Palmdale. It's nearly 1,400 miles round trip for Arcata, so you might as well make it a happy trip. The Tigers earn state title number 1 over Portola. Summerville, the final Sac-Joaquin Section team remaining, beats Monte Vista of the San Diego section. The Bears hoist their first state championship in school history. Moreau Catholic of Hayward brings their first state title back to Northern California, beating the Lindsay Cardinals at the D7 AA level. Balboa of San Francisco earns its 2nd state title since 2021 by beating the Pioneer Titans of Whittier. And in the weekend's main event, Mater Dei defeats De La Salle of Concord in the CIF Open Division Final. The Monarchs win state title number 5 and are slowly closing the gap between them and the Spartans for the most state titles of all time. Remember, if you just won a state championship, then you should celebrate like a champion and visit premiergradproducts.com to order your custom bling from Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. Now that the state football championships have come and gone, let's take one final look at the Premier Preps football top 10 for teams within the Sac-Joaquin section. You know that feeling when you win it all? When you become a champion. Now you can celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship rings. Bob Sebring has designed custom championship bling for more than 30 years and has been the trusted source for crafting priceless jewelry that tells the story of your team's championship journey. From football in the fall to baseball in the spring and everything in between, Premier Championship Rings has designed rings for dozens of local high school programs and even at the collegiate, pro, and youth levels as well. Whether it's a section, regional, or state title, Premier Championship Rings has you covered. So when your team wins the big game, you know what time it is. That's right, it's time to put a ring on it. Celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. To the basketball courts now for one of the more natural rivalries out in Yolo County between Woodland and Woodland Christian. Now, the Woodland Wolves are seeking their first winning season since 2009, but they've had the edge over the Cardinals over the past 15 meetings. Woodland Christian, on the other hand, is a two-time defending league champ that features one of the best young scorers in the section in Junior Romello Brune. Both teams locking up Wednesday as part of the YOLO Bash at Pioneer High School. The first day of the YOLO Bash at Pioneer High School, the Woodland Wolves are taking on Woodland Christian. There's Super Junior Romello Brune. What's up, Mello? I see you. First quarter, Woodland Christian sophomore Malachi Baker had a huge opening period. He lets it fly from the top of the key right here, and then he buries one from the corner. Baker had 11 points on 3 triples in the first quarter on Wednesday. And then Tanner Thomas doing his thing. That footwork is fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Cardinals fly out to a 10-0 lead to start the game. We haven't even seen Romello Brune yet. Here he is with the pickpocket. He's going to go the distance for the lay-in. Woodland Christian leads 19-5 after 1. Second quarter, the Wolves are trying to claw back into this game. Joseph Cadot coming down the lane for 2. And then the big fella, Lincoln Twilley, going hard to the rack, the hoop, and the harm. But Woodland still has a big hill to climb, especially if Romello Brune is going to start cooking. 3 3-pointers and 12 points in the second quarter for Brune. He was second in the section in scoring last year. Cardinals up 45-26 at the break, and they would keep piling on in the third. Malachi Baker, the smallest guy on the court, just rips the ball away from the biggest guy on the court and cashes in on a layup to extend the Cardinals' lead. And then check out this sequence. Brune on the inbound. He goes off his defender's back. He gets the ball back and then buries the 3 and 1. He would go ahead and convert the 4-point play. This kid is special. We're going to have more on Romello Brune in an upcoming feature story on Premier Preps, but for now, just enjoy some yams. He promised me a dunk before the game, and he delivers. Romello Brune, 24 points and a man of his word. A bright spot for Woodland was senior Joseph Cadot. He was averaging just 7 points per game entering Wednesday, but Cadot goes kaboom for 32, including 6 3-pointers. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter alone. But this night was all Cardinals. Malachi Baker, 2 times a Baker's dozen, 26 points on Wednesday, and Woodland Christian wins 79-51.
We all played our part. Everyone did pretty good on rebounding, defensive. I think we just need to work on a little more, but like more of just rebounding, passing the ball, moving around. We did really good tonight on that. We're always underdogs, you know. Like everyone always downs us. We're a D5 school. Hey, our football team won a state championship, and we're about to win one too. So let's go.
Time now for our boys basketball big picture top 10 presented by Leanie's Pictures, your source for custom team and individual banners. festive yard signs, and much more. Visit Leanie'sPictures.com to order your memorabilia and book your personalized photo shoots. But for now, check out the latest Big Picture Top 10 for boys basketball presented by Leanie's Pictures. We kicked off our girls soccer coverage this week, and it was a cold Monday night in Fair Oaks as the Del Campo Cougars hosted the Bella Vista Broncos. These two programs combined to win 12 of the first 16 championships here in the Sac-Joaquin section. They were back in the playoffs again last year and are looking to build upon their postseason trips this year. The Cougars and the Broncos kicked the week off on Monday night. Our first look at some girls soccer this season, and it was a tidbit nippy on Monday night for Del Campo and Bella Vista. We picked things up early in the first half, a scoring opportunity for the Broncos. Winter Kessler gives it a look with the left foot, but Del Campo goalie Kaylee Chastain is there to put a lid on it. But BV gets another crack at it with a corner kick a few minutes later. Kaylin McGuire with a good ball, and Alexis Irwin is in the right place at the right time. Bella Vista takes a 1-0 lead. The Cougars try to respond. Reese Mills with a good feed, but the connection is slightly miscalculated, and the Broncos avoid disaster as it's cleared out of trouble. Cougars again on the attack. Alex Topping going to give it a go this time. But Bella Vista keeper Lola K. Ballard says, "Nah." Broncos take a 1-goal lead into the break. 5 minutes into the second half, Kate Hooper with the beautiful feed up ahead to Winter Kessler. Her first try didn't go, but she's not going to miss a second time. That goal puts the Broncos ahead 2-0. Del Campo's got to make a move here. A free kick from near midfield. Alyssa Salinas with a bullet, but it ricochets off the crossbar, and Bella Vista again escapes unharmed. Cougars defense trying to keep them in this game. Goalie Lily Steenberg with a nice sequence here, getting a paw on a pair of Bronco shots, but the Cougs need to get into the net. Savannah Jurgens with a chance, but Kira O'Brien comes out and meets her for the denial, and Bella Vista picks up its first win of the season.
Our defense, I felt, was really strong. Their forward, she was really fast and really aggressive, but, we locked them down. They had some fast forwards, so I'm just glad we got to stop them.
Now that we've got a few games underway, we can go ahead and take a stab at our first set of Premier Preps Girls Soccer Top 10 lists. We go back inside the gym now for some girls hoops action at the annual LaSalle Classic at Christian Brothers High School. We've got a first round game between an up-and-coming Davis Blue Devils team taking on one of the section's powerhouses in the McClatchy Lions, which features future Washington Husky Nina Kane, who took home all kinds of Player of the Year honors last season. It's the Lions and the Blue Devils on Thursday night. Early season girls hoops tournament action at Christian Brothers High School between Davis and McClatchy. The Lions looking to build off a deep state run last year. Here we go, first quarter. The Blue Devils get a quick spark from freshman Lorelei Knockman, who gets an and one right off the bat. This kid can play, more on her later. But McClatchy responds. Noré Lewis dumps it inside to Nina Kane. And then Kane returns the favor, the drive and kick to Lewis for three. Get ready to see that combo a lot this year at McClatchy. The Lions run deep this year. Check out this rainbow from sophomore Savvy Hill. Lions off to a hot start, but Davis ends the first quarter on a buzzer beater from Chaya Chu, but McClatchy leads 19-9 after one. Good ball movement from the Lions to start the second. Brianna Kimmons to Savvy Hill to Nina Kane for the lay-in. But here comes that Davis freshman again, Lorelei Knockman with the deep ball. The Blue Devils trying to cut into the deficit. But McClatchy answers with another three of its own. This time it's Brianna Kimmins from distance. That puts the Lions up by a dozen midway through the second. Davis with some hustle on defense. Sonia Clayton with the steal and just instinctively knows where to find Lorelei Knockman. A nice play from Clayton, but the Lions are on the break now. Daisy Throckmorton. Daisy Dimes in the house. She feeds Nina Kane as McClatchy takes a 30-19 lead into the break. More Lions in the third. Never let me slip, because if I slip, then I'm slipping. And if I got my Nina, then you know I'm straight tripping. Nina Kane led the Lions with 23 points on Thursday, but it's not just a one-woman team at McClatchy. Savvy Hill off the feed from Michaela Reyes. Hill had 10 points on Thursday, and then Hill gives it up to Throckmorton this time, and the McClatchy lead balloons to 22 after 3. Layla Stansel-Williams getting in on the fun for the Lions, knifing through the lane for 2. But one more shout out to Lorelei Knockman of Davis. The freshman had 23 to lead the Blue Devils. This kid is going to be one to watch at Davis over the next few years. But this night belonged to McClatchy. Michaela Reyes with 2 of her 9 points. And the Lions win, and the expectations are high for this team.
We want to make sure that we have tough games early, and just so we know where we stand as far as a team, and we know what we need to work on early. And so we just get back to the lab and we fix the little things. Once we know what we need to do, then that will be a solid team.
Time now to take a look at our girls basketball big picture top 10 presented by Leanie's Pictures. When you visit LeaniesPictures.com, make sure to use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. You won't find that type of deal anywhere else. You will find the girls basketball big picture top 10 right here, thanks to Leanie's Pictures. Leanie's Pictures is your go-to site for priceless photos and memorabilia. This local family business has captured great action shots for a decade, but there's so much more to offer with a personalized touch for team and individual photos, game day galleries, banners, yard signs, festive mementos for senior nights, team banquets, or even just to cheer your kid on at their games, all 100% custom made by Leanie's Pictures, any student, any season, any occasion. So make those memories last forever and visit LeaniesPictures.com and use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. That's LeaniesPictures.com, your official photography sponsor for Premier Preps. Our boys soccer coverage this week comes from 2 former league rivals, a tiger-on-tiger matchup between Inderkum and Roseville. The Inderkum Tigers have only suffered 1 loss in each of the past 2 seasons, but unfortunately they came in the form of early round playoff exits. Indy's off to another hot start in 2024, but this time they're hoping to buck that playoff trend come February and bring home a blue banner. They look to stay hot at home against Roseville on Tuesday night. To the boys pitch, we've got Roseville and Inderkum. Can I get a 1, 2, 3 Tigers?
1, 2, 3 Tigers!
All right, and
1, 2, 3 Tigers!
There we go. We're ready now. We start this thing off early in the first half. The Tigers of Roseville on the hunt. Jason Garovi going to let one go from distance. Might have had a chance, but Indy goalie Ethan Garcia says not this time. Indy with a corner on the other end. Reyes Ahmad with a nicely placed ball, but Roseville's Nevin Cohen is there to redirect it. Right around 13 minutes into this game, Kevin De La Cruz flips it over his head. It takes a lucky bounce, and Christian Del Toro is there to head it in. And that puts Inderkum in front 1-0. Not a bad way to get on the board. Del Toro looking for more just a few minutes later, but this time Caden Padone comes out to squash that idea and keeps it at a 1-score game. Roseville trying to knot things up at 1 apiece toward the end of the first half. Carter Maldonado down the far side. The cross to Nevin Cohan, but denial is not just a river in Egypt. It's what Ethan Garcia does best between the posts. Indy's got a 1-0 lead at the half, and they're looking to add on with a free kick. Josh Nogan has a good look, but Roseville's Ben Schrader gets a big paw on it. But Inderkum would stay in Roseville's kitchen. A corner kick from Marco Gutierrez finds Kevin De La Cruz. He puts the biscuit in the basket, and Indy goes up 2-0. But they were far from finished. Right around the 6-minute mark, Marco Gutierrez with another good feed, and Christian Del Toro with another good deed. Del Toro hitting the bullseye. That's just ice cold right there. Inderkum wins 3-0. Hey, Christian, how do the Tigers plan to get over that playoff hump this year?
We just have to continue the way we are. We have lost a lot of players going into this year, but I feel like we can come back, build up our chemistry again, and we've been playing good these last few games. So.
All right, time to take a peek at what's going on in the rest of the Sac-Joaquin section and see which teams are off to hot starts in our Premier Preps Boys Soccer Top 10. Infinite Performance Physical Therapy is your source for all kinds of health benefits, including rehab from surgery and injury, sports-specific training, and much more. Dr. Janae Young works with local student athletes all the time, just like yourself, and regular old Joes just like me, and keep our fitness goals on track. Make sure you connect with Infinite Performance Physical Therapy and tell them Premier Preps sent you, because they bring us our plays of the week every week here on Premier Preps. Don't forget that you can send me your play of the week candidates each week on social media. Just tag me with a short clip and let me know what's going on with the play, and we'll try to get you on the show. Without further ado, here are this week's Infinite Performance plays of the week. All right, Sonia Clayton of Davis gets the steal and hits us with the no-look pass to Lorelei Knockman under the bucket. Great instincts right there. Mason Ademora of Rodriguez doing his best LeBron James in the 2016 Finals impression with the chase down block. Still a sore subject for me as a Warriors fan, but nice play from Ademora. Inderkum's Christian Del Toro off the feed from Marco Gutierrez. What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. 2 goals in a win for Del Toro. And we go to Woodland Christian's Romello Brune. First, he inbounds the ball off of his defender's back. Then he proceeds to get hacked on a 3-pointer for a 4-point play. Brune is the truth, and that is your Infinite Performance play of the week. That puts a bow on episode 17 and our fall sports coverage. Thanks for joining us for the ride here on Premier Preps. And of course, congratulations to all state champions who were crowned this weekend. But we are not going anywhere. Premier Preps will be right back here next week with more basketball and soccer coverage. So make sure to subscribe and tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. I'm Nick Pecoraro, and this is Premier Preps.